Right, good morning to Manic Boat Adventures. Right, we're on our journey down to Weymouth. So, I've got the engine running. I've got my flask all done. Just done a few safety checks. I'm going to go round into the west. A good friend of mine, Peter Warren's got a fish shop round there. He's kindly said I can fill my ice box up so I can put my drinks in. I've attached a rope to the side of my railing round there with a clip on it, like a carabiner. So in case I've got a walk round the front, I can clip it on. But we think everything is tickety-boo. All I'm going to do now is get mine and Skip's life jacket on, untie the ropes, and then we're going to get round there. So me and Skip are all ready. I've got my AIS, my Fast Find tracker on. I'll wear that today. Just in case. I always have it near me anyway, but I'll keep it around my neck today. So hopefully next time you'll see me in Weymouth Harbour. See you later. So me and Skip, we're in Weymouth Harbour. Here he is, little bugger. So yeah, we got down here in just under 4.5 hours. It was absolutely awesome. And I filled up with fuel, and I put in 219 litres, so I reckon I'm doing 1.9 litres a mile, so it's absolutely awesome. So what I'll do is I'm going to go and show you the shower block and the facilities here. I've got Dave Barham and Dave Mordecai coming down, and the weather's not looking that great. We're going to try and get out on Sunday afternoon maybe, and just try a little bit, but Monday's looking okay. But I think I may be stuck down here until the Thursday so I can get a safe passage back. But let's go and have a look at the shower block. So this is the shower block area. Look how fantastic this is. 2 showers, sink, obviously toilet. You need a degree to work this. I don't know quite how this works, but it does work. But yeah, fantastic, top notch. Right, I should have done this video when I got back from Weymouth, but I'll be honest, it was quite a, well, not an emotional trip, but it was a fantastic experience. And I'll be honest with you, I was so concentrating on the fishing and the other side of things that I didn't really bother to do the end of this video. I've got bits and pieces. I didn't do a time lapse like I was, you know, like I did when I went to Brighton. But me and my boy got over there safe and sound. It took us 4.5 hours to get there from Sovereign Harbour, which I thought was fantastic. We did 3,000 revs on average, 3,200 revs, and we were averaging our speeds from sort of 18 to 24 knots. It was a little bit hairy when we come round Cowes. There was, because you had to go up round the Isle of Wight, and there was a load of yachts and whatever else, and not too many buoys or pots or anything that way, but you're dodging yachts, and obviously I'm on an autopilot route. But I got there, it was exactly 115 miles, and it took me, I'll be honest with you, it took me 40 minutes to find my berth when I got to Weymouth. I did lower my aerial slightly, but I got there virtually on low tide, so if you stay in the middle of the bridge when you get to Weymouth, you know, you can literally go under it. But I did lower them slightly, so I had all that in plan. I had my spanner on there ready, because believe it or not, one is a 12mm and the other one's a 13, so I had to have 2 different sockets ready. But yeah, we got up there trouble free. There was no problems whatsoever. I was going to do the journey in 2 hits, but 4.5 hours I couldn't moan. And I got introduced to a guy through Facebook. I think it was someone through Facebook told me, and they said to me that there's a guy down there called Andy, and he's like a mobile fuel you know, it fill you up at the dockside. So I got in touch with Andy and made an arrangement to meet him the next day. And it's obviously it's the same as we've got here, red diesel, but it was 89p a litre. So I didn't have the heater on. I had the fridge on and everything else, but that's not going to affect my fuel consumption, because I've never really known what this boat does to the mile, because I've always had the diesel heater. The diesel heater's been on, and obviously that's connected to the tank. That's been on for the last, well, 2.5 months. So I could be using 3-4 litres a day time that kicks in and out and whatever else. So I had no idea of fuel consumption whatsoever. Obviously I went down there with nothing like that on, all the electrics on, had no problems whatsoever. We obviously put the new alternator on, Nathan did, and the 2 new belts, and 2 brand spanking new batteries, and literally, touch wood, the boat went like a dream. I did do let's just put it up here a little bit. I did do yeah, so sorry, yeah, well, so I got in touch with this Andy and made contact with him, and he said, look, no problems. He said, if you pull up, there's a red buoy there. He said, if you pull up alongside there, he said, I'll be waiting for you at 11 o'clock. So I rocked up there at 11, and it was almost like a silage truck, you know, like just a truck, and he chucked the hose down, the nozzle down to me. We filled it up, and I filled up, so I was completely full when I left Sovereign Harbour. This holds 350 litres, so I filled up there, and I filled to the brim, literally till it come out the top there, and I filled up, and it was 219 litres that I put in. Yeah, I think it cost me a couple of £100 or whatever it was. 190 quid or something, I can't remember, but it was 89p a litre. So I filled 219 litres up, and that was to the brim. As I say, I couldn't fault the accommodation enough. I went on to Google when I got there, and I Googled dog friendly pubs, and there was a couple there. I think there was the Ship, and the one that we went to, a guy recommended me. He had a couple of Yorkies down there, and he said, look, I go to this one, the White Hart. It's like a sports bar and this, that and the other, which I don't drink, you know, don't really interest me, that side of it. I just wanted to get a bit of food and whatever else. So it was like a 10-minute walk. So me and Skip, we went up there 2 or 3 times, and had a nice meal. But literally, you get in there, and they look after the dogs more than they do the humans. So it was like there's a dog bowl there, and there's treats, and there's this and there's that, and I'm thinking, well, you can ask me what I want then. Am I going to get my lime and soda and a menu? And it seemed to be all about the dogs, which was lovely. And you saw earlier the shower and the facilities there. Look, I'm very, very new to doing this, so obviously with the fishing, with Manic Fishing, the fishing videos, I'm sort of super confident, so you'll just have to bear with me a little bit. I'm going to try and get a video out as often as I can. I am travelling again. I was going to do something, but it's been cancelled this weekend. We were going to have the Sea Angling Classic down here, and I was going to fish with a good friend of mine, Mike Cave, but it's been blown off. I've been out today, and yeah, I mean, it's not great out there, and I don't think it will be super great tomorrow, but it would have been fishable. Yeah, it's a safety thing, but that's cancelled for the following weekend. But I don't think Mike's available then, so I'll probably get involved in it, but I won't be fishing it. I don't fish competitions, yeah. So I'm new, new to this side of things. If I'm sitting here talking about fishing rods and lures and this, that and the other, it's off the top of my tongue, so it's all sort of new to me. But we were I took my precautions when I went down there. Obviously had my life jacket, my PLB, that's all been re-registered now, so I rung up the Coast Guard and re-registered that to this boat, Bernadette, so that it's got my MMSI number, and my call sign is on that, and I've actually put it down as a I think I put it down as like a coastal, so I can take that personal location beacon and jump on your boat or jump on his or wherever, and it'll still obviously register it to me. And when I'm on here, obviously it's GPS, so it tells you wherever you are, but I put that in there so I can jump on other people's boats and whatever else and use it. But yeah, it was super safe. I got boarded. When I come through just by the Spinnacle Tower, just up near Portsmouth on the way back. It took me 5 hours to get back. I actually clipped a buoy. It must have just been a rogue one because I was miles away from it. Must have been cut and the rope was hanging, but I went past it and then I looked behind the boat and I could see it bouncing behind. I thought, my God, I hopefully not got it caught around the prop. So obviously I stopped. I've got my knife there handy. I lifted the leg. My leg will actually lift right up like an outboard. So I lifted the leg right up and I got my knife out the swim deck there ready to cut it. And as soon as I got my knife sort of close to it, it just come off. It was just caught round the skeg. So it must have just been a rogue one that had been cut and was floating around. But apart from that, I didn't get boarded, but I got approached by the police rib. There was a warship coming out of Portsmouth, but I was like, oh, good mile and a half, 2 miles, but I suppose our paths were crossing and they just make sure, I suppose it's part of a security thing. I was obviously on that navionics course, so it was taking me to the Cardinal buoys and you know, the safe passage round, and they just come up and just asked me who I was, where I'm going, are you going to follow this and follow that, and but yeah, all guns out and you know, I said, you can shoot the dog. I said, but you can't shoot me. But that was the only, no real drama, but that was the only thing that was sort of a little bit exciting on the way back. But I got back in 5 hours, and that, when I came round Port, I think it was Albany Point, when I was going there, my God, that was rough water. I looked at it and it looked like I was going into a wall, and it was horrifically, I mean, I've been across the Chichester Bar and that was pretty horrific, but there was nothing. I timed it so that I come across there at slack water. But when I hit that Albany Point, I'm not knowing if I'm saying it properly, literally it was wild. So I just dropped my revs down. I still went through it at 16 knots, but it was sort of like a quarter of a mile, and I think there's like not whirlpools, but I think there's pools and dips and whatever else, I suppose similar to our Beachy Head, and literally the currents were everywhere. And I asked the guy at the fuel when he filled me up about it, and he went, I said, would I have been better to go further out? He said, no, if anything, you'd have been better to go closer in. And I find that's my experience of Beachy Head here. I mean, basically, I just followed that navionics track. But when I came back, there was nothing. It was literally going through a mill pond. So perhaps I just timed it wrong or whatever. Apart from that, I was back in Sovereign Harbour within 5 hours, and I topped it up again, and literally it was within exactly the same amount of fuel as I did going there. I think I put back in 200 and, I don't know, 22 litres or something. You know, it was in a couple of meters. So anyway, look, yeah, so that's it really. I should have done this video when I got back, but I'll be honest, it was quite a trip. I was missing my old dog, and I wanted to get back and everything else. I've just literally come back out. I've just been out to sea, and there's been an update come out for the autopilot, radio, and the Precision 9, and I've just gone out and I've calibrated that, and that was pretty wild out there today. But I'm going to keep trying to get this content. I've been invited down, I've been speaking to John Locker and obviously David, who I fish with, and Matthew Forrester, Joker Jigs, and this comes out, I'm gonna have some sexy decking done on this, and I'm not gonna have it 2-pack now. I've been assured by George, there's a guy in the yard who reckons he can get it up you know, not yacht condition, but to a reasonable condition. And I think it'll save me a shed load of money. It probably cost me £5 to get it 2-packed, and I'm still waiting for the guy sort of 5 weeks later to come round and look at it, and so it's not worth messing about with. So I'm just going to do that. I've got my dog stickers to put on the sides, you know, like I had on Lady Margaret. But hopefully I should be doing some content. So it comes out in August, but in
September
I'm going to be doing going down. This comes out to have the leg serviced and to have the hull polish, because he can do the top section here, but he's going to do the polishing the rest of it. Then I get a full engine service and everything else. I'm going to hit down to Torquay for a week, 10 days, and then go down a little bit further down and hopefully meet up with Mr. Locker. So fingers crossed. We've still got a lot of things planned, you know, time and things coming into play. My dog's not too well, my mum's not too well, I'm not too well. I've just been coming off these steroids, but I'll try and get as much content out as I can. I should be doing some other bits and pieces for Crusader, so hopefully we've got a few things coming up. And obviously when I get this out and do the maintenance on it, I'll do a video. And what I'm going to do in order to get this decking a little bit cheaper, I'm going to do an install video, but that's not for Manic Fishing, that's for Manic Boat Adventures. So we'll do a sort of before, during and after, and I'm going to try and talk them into possibly putting this decking stuff on the inside, just in that cockpit part there. I think that'll look quite good and keep clean. But I'm not having all the sides done, just literally this area here, maybe a little bit on the back here. I may have my logo on there, so I think it'll just make it look a bit, not that it really matters, does it? I mean, I'm only out here smashing, you know, I'm only out here grabbing fish or whatever, so it's a working boat, it doesn't really matter. I've had a gas locker fitted now, so that's all gone in, and that's all I've got a certificate for that, because it didn't have one before. The gas bottle was inside, so I've got a proper locker. And I've got a good friend, Rob Jarvis. He owns a company here, Abacus, and he got it all sorted out for me. Yeah, fantastic. So literally Grant fitted it, so the bottle, the locker goes outside. Let me show you this. So literally, if I just show you this, so this is the locker here, and a little bit awkward. And so the gas bottle just goes in there, and underneath here is a breather, is a you know, like a vent, and then that goes down. If I turn it upside down, there is a vent there. So that it did have a vent where that Manic Fishing sticker is. But you can't have a vent you can't be vented onto the deck, so has to go away from the boat. So that was all done, and the pipe work inside, I've got all that done. But hopefully, yeah, we should have some good stuff coming up. And me and my baby will be come on up here for the camera. And me and my baby will be hopefully yeah, we'll try and get some content out for you. But thanks very much for watching the video. I'll try and get as much out as I can. As I said, I'll do the install video next. They're down on the 20th of May to do one in Brighton, and they're going to come and have a look and have a measure up. So we should have another video out, but it's not like Manic Fishing where I'm getting a video out every Monday. I'll just try and do the best I can with this, and any installs or updates and bits and pieces that I'm doing, I'll let you know. But thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.